going on, guys? Nick Pate, got Kyle, got Packy. We're here at the house doing a little Q&A. Don't know what Kyle's doing. Don't know what Packy's doing, but my mustache is rocking pretty good. Kyle's looks a little better. It's a little darker. And Packy's Packy. So,
I'm not shaving for the rest of the year.
Are you doing no shave November, Packy?
I'm doing no shave the rest of 2020.
Wow. Like 2 more months.
We'll see where it ends up.
I would like to think I could keep this mustache through the whole November, but I think in like a week when it starts curling into my lip, and that's when I have a hard.
Once you start getting some snacks in there, you don't want it.
No, that's nice actually. It's like a nice little surprise later. You kind of lick your lip. And it's like, Did I have chili? Yeah.
Last
chili.
week too.
Is that a peanut butter sandwich I had 3 mornings ago?
Yep. Still there. Do we have anyone watching right now?
We got
we have
26 already.
All right, please throw some questions in here because Packy is like, "Hey guys, we're gonna have this live. It's gonna be fun." I'm like,
You
okay,
put this on me?
Packy's quite a jokester, and I'm like, all right, I can get in there. I'm kind of in the mood for some jokes and some funny questions. We get on there. He's like, all right, guys, what are we talking about?
We're going to talk about nothing.
I could tell you a joke.
Tell me a joke, Nick.
The left side in bowling. Joke.
That's
I can't with you guys.
And we're ending the live already.
James Snyder, tell us if you're a lefty. Tell us.
Probably.
There's no way if it's high game's only 206.
Here we go.
Congrats
we got
on
one.
The new high score. That's cool.
First question. Dude, new high scores. Do you guys remember the first time you shot like a new high score?
Yeah.
I do. I actually
like one that you were like trying to go for, like 300.
Yeah, I remember my progression of games until like my high scores until I got to 300.
Really?
Yeah, it was 228 for like the longest time. That was from 9 to 10, and then it was like 250. I think it was 256. I shot 256, and then it went to 300 because I got lucky when I was really young. And I never shot anything after that. It was 300, but I never shot anything close to that for like a year and a half.
Dang.
So my junior league used to announce high scores per game. Like he would have a mic and he would go down to every lane. If it was like 220 or higher, he would just announce it. So the whole building knew when I shot 300, my first one, and then every high score then. But
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I have this picture of this pen here. Listen to this. I used to write like all my scores on this like just on a pen, and it's from 2012, and I'm writing down 230s. Just marking down 230s as my high scores.
I thought that was like
you haven't been.
I thought it was gonna be like 3 years ago. You started bowling like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say you haven't been bowling as long.
Yeah, that was like in high school. I started. I guess that would be like 09. But
Packy, why did you start bowling? Is it because you realized your jumper was whack and you actually?
No, I was really like short and skinny. I'm still skinny. Yeah. I'm just not short. Okay, well, see, at our high school, we had 3,000 kids. So we had like 60 kids or 80 kids trying out for like the freshman basketball team, and I didn't even try out. And my parents told me I had to play a sport, so I chose bowling because it was twice a week instead of every day. How about that?
Wow.
And now here we are.
Now we went every day.
We went from twice a week to every day.
Food.
Nick's going to be in and out.
Yeah, I'll be here. I can see you.
Nick's cooking up some chicken wings.
Yeah.
Can you Venmo me some chicken wings?
Venmo you some chicken wings?
Yeah.
Venmo you some chicken wings?
Yeah.
Guys, I'm just going to say this. We got a new ball video coming out tomorrow on the Black Widow 2.0. I spent 3 hours making it today. Not bowling, but I spent 3 hours just putting it together to try and make it A1. So,
Chad, do you guys
everybody
think I should make a ball video? I've been telling Packy I should, but he won't let me. So
I've literally been asking Kyle for the last 3 months to make a ball video. And every time he's like, I don't even know what a ball video is. What up? We got a new member to the chat. Here we go. That's a good question. I have drilled, of the new ones, I think there's 5 new ones. I've only thrown 3 of them. I threw the Black Widow, the Hero, and the Web MB, and all of those were pretty good so far. I just need more time to give a real accurate assessment on the Hero and the Web, but check the ball video tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know what I think of the Black Widow.
I didn't get to throw those ones this time.
Oh, you didn't get to?
No,
that's a bummer. Nick,
Yeah.
but tell us what your standout balls from this year were. How about that?
Phase 2 and Idle.
A Phase 2 and an Idle.
Let me think here.
Did those come out this year?
Yeah, no, they've been out for like 2 years, 3 years, 2 years.
Yeah, they've been out for a
3
while.
3 years. It was before me. Before I was on staff with them.
Before you were even born.
Yeah, before I was born. But that and like Idle Pearl. And weirdly enough, IQ Tours this year were good.
IQ Tours.
Tour. Yeah.
Was it like do you think it's a batch thing, or do you think it was just like the way that the tour is shaped up?
I don't know. I just feel like there was more friction this year on tour than there has been in a while. And I feel like
that.
Huh?
A lot of hook out there.
I felt like
I
felt like 2019 was a lot of surface, and then we used starting at the U.S. Open last year in 2019 and like progressing into this year, we used a lot more shiny stuff.
Yes, I agree.
My
I was talking
much work.
I was talking with Mitch today about when I actually have to try instead of just close my eyes, and he said,
"When do you have to do
that?" Never. I know. Because when I have to try, it's just giving up. That's what it is. But no, yeah, I was talking with Mitch, and he was talking about a lot of the lefties on tour this year. He said a lot of the guys who like to go straighter struggled a lot, and I don't know if it was because of the lanes or if it was because of like you guys talked about, the surface or the types of balls that we had to use this year.
Well, I think it was like, if you take example for Shawnee, we used 19 mils on one of the patterns. It was the cheetah pattern, but it was like 19 to 23 mils. That was insane. Yeah. Like, that's hard to play straight, and and even being on cheetah,
it's short and it's got no volume at all.
Yeah,
it's like if you can't hook it, good luck.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's see what we got going in the chat. High game 288. Can't get 300. Any tips?
Don't joke.
Throw 12 strikes in a row.
Throw 12 in a row. Yeah, I think finishing off in the 10th is probably pretty good. I would say, at the end of the day, it's just bowling. So whether
you always have another chance.
Whether you strike or not, you'll have another chance. And don't put too much pressure on the 10th frame. It's just another frame.
I would recommend doing breathing techniques. Those seem to help in any situation.
If you shot 288 for every block that you bowled for the rest of your career, but you can never shoot another 300 again, would you take that?
Yes.
I would have
100%. 100%. You kidding me?
Yeah, 288 is an amazing score. I mean, 300, if you had never shot one, you want to shoot one, but 288, that's good. You're fine.
Well, can I sacrifice one of those tournaments for a 300 then?
And if you can shoot 288, you have the ability to shoot 300. You just got to keep bowling.
Yeah, just stick with it. Like Nick said, maybe if you get a little nervous, just take a deep breath, relax. Yeah. Try and relax. I know it's not easy. Easier said than done.
Don't miss 17, right? And keep it out of that.
And even if you do, maybe it'll strike, because it does for me usually.
No, yeah. I was gonna say, if you're right-handed, make sure you hit your mark. If you're lefty, just guess.
Just throw it.
I pick a different arrow every time I throw it.
Yeah,
this is the same problem. This is the same problem we have with Kyle. It's the same problem.
I hope that's the case with holiday doubles. Come on, pony.
Bro, I'm ready. Said that last year, but I'm ready.
I was gonna say we said that the last 2 years, and it's like, all right. Well,
I
we're
just signed up for a
360 after
holiday
one.
doubles warm up in 2 weeks, so I'm prepared.
Holiday doubles warm up.
Yep.
Where is holiday doubles this year? Is it still
Fairview. Did they move it?
It's either,
St.
I know.
Clair?
I think it's at St. Clair, but I don't know.
I
Yeah,
love
that's
St.
where
Clair.
warm up is. So I'm sure the actual tournament is, but yeah, I'm practicing, Nick. So you better get ready.
I'm not practicing.
Oh, you guys are bowling together? How'd that go last year?
We shot
About the
360
same-
game
actually
one,
worse
so
than the year
we
before.
yeah. And
You say
Kyle
worse
had
than the year
half a hip,
before?
Yeah,
half a hip 2 years ago.
I mean,
Ooh,
Nick beat me 1 year. I beat him the next year.
So
We suck overall. So that's just a hard tournament to be good at.
I bowled a house shot tournament on Sunday. Well, actually, it wasn't a house shot tournament. It was a Masters tournament. So it gave away a
you
Masters.
bowled a
spot.
lefty tournament?
No, well, weirdly enough, so we bowled at the house that I grew up in, and it's historically been better to lefties. And 2 out of 16 only made it. But
Were
I
there
had to
only
go
2 that
against
bowled?
one.
Or
No, there wasn't. And I finished top 4, but I got kicked out to the lefty, because that's how fate works with me. And
natural?
it was on the same pair that he shot 300 like 3 rounds prior. He ran front 9 against me. So it was great. I shot 2-0 if anyone cares.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Maybe you should just be better.
Oh, dude. And
Nick, just have front 10 against him.
shoot.
You want in?
Well, what's even better is the next game. It always happens. Next game, he shot 2-10. So I'm feeling a little better if that's his luck. But no. I'm shut out by this. I think the third frame I said good
As a
win.
collaborative group
YouTube.
and cohesion into the health of the house, that in 2021 we need to make a New Year's resolution to not bitch about lefties.
That's
Oh,
not true.
wait,
No,
what?
you can't-
Wait, what?
can't
Can
do
you guys
that.
say that again? New
I
Year's
think it'll be
resolution to
healthy
not
for the
complain about the left
cohesion of
side.
the house and overall mental set if we just stop bitching about lefties in 2021. Now,
It's
it's a big
bitch to win.
sacrifice. It's a big sacrifice because it's really funny and it's easy, and they kind of deserve it. But
Oh yeah.
I'm willing to take that sacrifice. It could be like a swear jar. Like we get a jar, and every time someone says something about lefties, we throw $1 in there.
So should I just give
And
you
then
my
you
PBA?
buy
And then you
packs
guys,
at the end
and then
of
you
the year.
guys give me all the dollars at the end.
Yeah, we'll buy you a nice present at the end of the year.
That's amazing. Can we do that? That'd be awesome.
I get to pick the present.
I feel like it would be
Oh,
just
God.
Tim and I that would be contributing to this fund.
Are you talking while you're cooking chicken over there?
Yeah, should I not be?
No, you can. It's just weird.
It is. I guess you have your headphones in because I'm like, how is this so clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
AirPod Pro, baby.
I got those too.
Let's go.
I lost the charger though.
Ooh, I mean, you can get one of those. You can get a replacement for like $80, which is a lot, but it's not as
Yeah.
much as paying for
Maybe I'll find
brand
it.
new headphones.
Did you get them for on deal on Amazon?
Yeah.
Because I didn't. I ordered them 2 weeks prior, and then they
I know.
went on sale.
I ordered them
was
before,
so
and then
pissed.
I was like, I can't believe they just went on sale. Mitch was texting me about it.
Yeah. I
Al
saw 'em.
texted me about it.
Yeah, Nick told me how much they were, and I was like,
The house bowling
They're
review.
Amazon 200. I'm like, all right, cool. That's just what I get.
What?
Well,
All right,
I
we got a question.
rate bought mine.
We got a question. My answer's not very good.
No, this guy looks smarter than all of us combined.
He has a white coat on,
White
which
coat.
means he's a doctor. So, for me, I don't pay attention. If you watch my ball videos, I don't usually pay attention to like the numbers on the core or the cover or the surface. I'm also really not sure what that means, but I don't usually pay attention. I usually go out and throw them and then just kind of break them down from there. Usually asymmetric solid balls are at the top.
He's saying
and
though,
shiny
what
pearl
percentage
balls are at the
ball
bottom.
reaction is each one of those characteristics have.
Okay.
So,
Oh, cover 100%.
cover,
Yeah,
and
because that's the
surface.
first thing seen the lane is the cover.
Cover and surface are kind of the same thing, a little bit. Not really, but kind of.
You can, I guess you can change the surface a little bit to make the cover stronger or weaker, but
Yeah, it's hard to separate like the surface and cover because they go together. I mean, there is a difference, but
For sure.
you put 500 grit on any ball, it's going to do what a 500
This is a
ball is
beast.
going to do. I think,
Split.
I don't know, I think it's like 70 for the core or for the cover and surface, and then like 15 and 15% for the other two.
Yeah, and I mean the core definitely means something because you can, if it's tiny or if the pin placement is on its axis, you can change it drastically. But still, like if you hit a ball at 500, it'll hook no matter where you put the pin.
Right.
All balls react the same when you hit it with the 360 pad.
Facts.
Yikes. Well, Nick's got some interesting ball roll.
Nick, you bowling this weekend
I am.
in Clinton?
No.
Oh.
Are you bowling in
Oh,
Clinton?
in Iowa? You guys all bowling?
I was thinking about it, but then I'm kind of lazy. I don't
Well,
want to go.
I was thinking
I'm
about
going to
going up to Brunswick and bowling the non-champs.
I'm going to Nebraska.
Wow.
What are you going to
Tournament
Nebraska
there.
for? Tournament?
To get that trailer and the motorhome.
Are you really?
No, there's a tournament there that there's a memorial tournament that I've only bowled once, and
Tomsu?
yes, so it's a memorial tournament. Obviously, you know about that.
Yeah.
So I'm bowling that. It's a good tournament. I like obviously I went to school around there. I like the crowd. I like the tournament. Matt that runs it does an outstanding job. So I want to support him.
Yeah, Matt's really good in that tournament. The tournament's pretty good. They usually run a bunch of brackets. They pay out pretty good.
So much brackets.
And it's a fun format too, where you randomly match with a top 16 guy.
Yeah, over under 40. So like there's top 16 under, top 16 over, and then where you finish is who your doubles partner is, and then you bowl Bakers.
Yeah, which is super cool. All right, we got I think a decent one, Diesel Life, which Kyle, I mean that name pretty much is for you, so I'll let you take this one.
I am his man. I support your choices. What's the fastest route to qualify for the PBA tournament? Winning a regional? Dude, I don't even know. What is the fastest? How do you qualify?
200 average in USBC
yeah, but
standings.
There's
three.
Yeah, but don't you have to like perform a certain? Don't you have to have a certain?
If you cash in a regional.
Are we talking about PBA tournaments? Isn't there a certain performance standard that you had to have met in like previous PBA tournaments, or else you can't compete?
No. I'm pretty sure for PBA there is no real qualifications besides getting your card. Some of them are unlimited fields where you can like as many people as they want can bowl, but some of them are the limited fields. You have to be in a certain percentage. But then if you just have your PBA card and you bowl the qualifier I think just gets you in if you bowl. Usually they have a qualifier where the top 8 from the qualifier get in, or the top 4 get in.
Yeah,
so a lot of them do have qualifiers, but I would say start bowling regionals if you're looking to qualify for a PBA. Start bowling regionals, kind of evaluate your skill set, and then if you think you're ready, usually you can just show up and bowl the PTQ if you send an email ahead of time.
Yeah, the way they've kind of that idea of getting into a PBA tournament in the formats is always kind of changed. It's never been real consistent over the years. But as Caggy said, if they have 80 spots in a tournament, they'll give away 70 to the top 70 players in the PBA tour. If say they all want to bowl, then they're in, and then the other 10 spots they run a PTQ right before the tournament, and you can sign in for that, and then the top 10 in that PTQ qualify to just get into the tournament. But I don't know if they're going to do that in the future, so who knows? But that's kind of how it was this last year go around. But yeah, bowling regionals. I mean, I've never really bowled a ton of regionals. I've probably bowled 10 regionals in my entire life. But they're definitely a good way to evaluate your skill set.
For sure. Let's see.
Bowling this weekend.
I'll put this one up for you, only because it's the second time we've gotten this question on here. Just real quick.
Melee, jab, and blood red. I think, I don't have a jab right now because it was an older ball, and I just don't have one. We've had a lot of new releases come out, so I haven't been able to throw it. I haven't really compared them like throwing shot for shot with a jab and then blood red. So I kind of had to go off what I thought a jab did. I just think the blood red is a little earlier, but for the most part, the average novice once a week bowler that's throwing them, they're pretty much the same ball, different colors, in my opinion. So they're both, and they're great reactions. Both of them I really like. So in the Brunswick brands, I think they're on the upper echelon of balls that they put out, in my opinion. But
Yeah, I have both, and I would agree. Just from what you said, it's just a little earlier, a little smoother. But again, I mean, it's very similar to the previous ball that came out with.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, that's one thing I wish companies would do a little bit better, is that they have a really good ball. Don't try to reinvent the wheel, and that's why I think they did a good job with this Melee. It's just, all right, we changed the color, it's the same. Don't need to fix something that's not broken. It's a great reaction. Don't mess with it, and they did a good job, I think.
Yeah, I would agree for sure. Let's see what we got. This is a bit of a interesting question. For me, I'm just going to answer this first. None of them. We're only really allowed to throw balls made by our sponsors. So that is.
What brand of ball would you most like to use that's not made by your sponsor? Oh, Packy, don't.
I can't. Purple hammer.
That's all you need.
I mean, technically, they're not my sponsor. Technically, it's Brunswick.
One ball that there's got to be one ball that you've seen go down the lane that you can't throw that you're like, man, kind of want to.
Yeah, so it was the purple hammer, and now I can throw it. So
okay, I don't care about is. We're talking the present. All right.
All right. Anyway, moving on. So
I'll give you this two. There's two that come to mind for me. Whatever that red urethane ball is for motive, that one intrigued.
Tank Blitz or whatever.
Yeah, the Tank Blitz.
Oh, that one looks like it hooks a ton.
Yeah, that one I feel like would be interesting. And then
it hooks a ton, but it doesn't at the same time. It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand. And that, like, when I see that ball go down the lane, I'm like, I need to figure, like, that is interesting.
Yeah.
And then the fact that in the phase 2, because all these guys kick my ass with it all the time, and I know they're not very good, so I just realized that it just makes careers. So they call the purple hammer the career maker, but that's all these guys throw every week. So those two would be
not true. Not true at all. I haven't drilled a phase 2 in like
I watched Brad go back-to-back 300s on a PBA event with phase 2.
We know how much of a joke Brad is.
And then he went front 4 gutter, and the gutter was finally like, okay, he's back.
What?
Yeah, what a loser. Who gutters?
All right. What's your guys' favorite or go-to 3-ball arsenal? So if you could only bring 3 to a tournament, what would it be?
I'll answer for you. Purple hammer, and black, just in case they need to hook a little early.
And then a plastic ball for spares.
Fair.
I'm going purple hammer, uppercut, prism, hybrid.
Yeah, for me it depends on what we're bowling because I have I have no skills at all, so it's different every time.
Literally 3 balls that you can only throw for the entire year.
3 balls for the whole year? Oh my god. Purple hammer, prism, the prism solid, and then maybe a tempo. Really like that ball. I need something pearl for when they're mega easy, like they always are.
Yeah.
I would definitely throw the purple hammer all the time. First 3 games, even if it's 47 feet, I would hit my
first 3 games.
I would hit my prism hybrid with like 2,000 in case I needed a little grit, and then just throw the uppercut all day. And that's actually what I do now. So
I would be phase 2 IQ Tour Emerald and Pitch Black because I'm a urethane master now.
Wait, I thought you don't throw the phase 2 anymore.
He just complained about it.
It's been a couple weeks. I need a freshman in my bag.
Couple weeks.
And by that he means
Actually,
it
it was at the playoffs or the league, one of the two. I drilled the phase 2.
He says he's never thrown it. He hasn't thrown it in so long. 3 weeks.
I have
put holes in one.
This movie's so weird. It's watching Split. It's with personality disorder.
Oh, that movie's crazy.
Yeah, dude, it's sick.
I hated it.
Really? I liked it.
I just zoned out. Trying to
weight holes. We're talking weight holes.
Yes, I started drilling my own stuff and didn't want to take the time to put weight holes in. So I haven't had weight holes for like 3 years.
I'm the same here. I'd rather put 2 holes in a ball than 3. So I just stopped doing it once they changed the rule to allowing 3 ounces of side weight. So I just stopped doing it basically all the time. Made it easier to drill for me.
Yeah, it simplified things for me. I kind of noticed that I didn't, the balls that I would put weight holes in, I was trying to understand it. And when I understood it more, I didn't actually really like those reactions. So for me, it was easier to just not have weight holes at all and use surface a little more, my hand a little bit more. Now, granted, there were some scenarios that if I saw a couple unique instances on the lane, that'd be like, okay, I need to drill a ball this way with a big weight hole right here because I needed whatever I needed. But it was like that didn't happen a whole lot. So when we started bowling on tour, I never needed weight holes. I don't know. I don't need the help.
The one thing for me was the urethane. Sometimes I had trouble making urethane hook a little earlier or enough, so that would help me get a little extra flare. But now,
I would do that.
Now that I can throw purple hammers, it just doesn't matter at all. So,
facts.
The ball.
Facts.
Yes, obviously, this is a yes.
Do you guys think urethane should be legal?
Nick, you're not allowed to answer.
Yeah, I feel like this. Am I in the middle on your screen?
Yes.
I feel like this is really good because
you're the mediator.
This side is way no urethane ever, and this side is can we just only throw urethane? And I'm kind of like, I throw it quite a bit, but I also wouldn't mind, beating every lefty every week.
Yeah, and there's the thing, like when patterns are hard, lefties need our crutches,
So do the righties, bro. I crutch.
The righty, yeah.
That's what urethane is. That's what urethane is. It's a crutch.
The people argue all the time about like, oh, it's not fair that the lefties bowl, whatever. They argue all the time about the fact that lefties throw urethane. Like they can throw it for 8 games. Yeah, well, most of the righties throw it for the first 3 anyway. So if you take it away from them, their scores are going to go away. The problem is the righties develop something that way. They can start to throw it to a friction spot or create hold with each other. And the lefties, there's probably only 10 on a squad, and that's probably pretty large. It's usually probably 6 on a squad-ish. So we don't really get that. I would say if you're gonna take away urethane, put us all on the same pair. Like put us all in the same put us all on the same 2 or 3 pairs and make us follow each other. That way I could at least.
100%.
And I know I'd be awesome with that because I just want to hook it more than them anyway. So
yeah,
let me give them the slow wheel.
You understand that T word that lefties don't, the transition.
Transition.
God dang.
That's a scary word. That's a scary word.
Up on them.
I tried. I bowled this one tournament, and I tried to be a good bowler one time. It was a 1-game match. It was on fresh, and I tried to throw reactive, and I shot like 160 something. And I think that's the last time I'm ever going to try that again. I think I'm over with that. So
listen,
to say I would think urethane should be illegal. Probably not.
Yeah, some guys they talk about like not throwing urethane, listen, or like whatever. I think it's really important, like just to know what ball works for you. Some people it's urethane, some people hate it, but it's basically just about what's what works for you.
But
You know, finding the
even
balls
more
that roll
so.
good. I can probably drill a 1-inch pin prism that will roll close. It won't be the same, but it'll be close. So
No, because you can hit you can hit the urethane as hard as you want, and it's not going to overreact. If you hit that 1-inch pin as hard as you want, it's going to pick up even earlier, and it's going to go to the 7-pin. For us righties.
yeah, and there's just a thing called touch that you just don't have. So
Oh, I have it. I'm a righty, so I have to have touch. It's weird. And when you cross with Belmo every time, you have to like touch, go around him, and
How does that work for you?
oh my gosh, it's great.
I'm just saying that I've
All right, I
mixed
got
up
my
with
dinner.
Belmo twice,
I got
and
my
it's never
dinner.
made the cut. I crossed with Belmo once in a major, and I made the cut. So it's not impossible.
Shut up.
he's I'm 1 for 1. So
1 for 1.
Who is the girl master of the house?
I think this is just an obvious answer with that plate in front of you.
Yeah, it's a he
Prater.
never drills.
Yeah, I know. Prater's.
It would be BJ when we do.
It would be BJ.
And
Dad with the
technically,
Walmart
Dad does
10s.
the most cooking. It's not necessarily the greatest, but does the most cooking probably.
I cooked scrambled eggs and everyone. Well, you weren't there for Chris and Mitch at the league. You weren't there for that, and they were good.
I was eating Chick-fil-A every day.
Why wasn't I? Oh, because I was bowling. Wow.
No, you were doing something. You had an interview. I think you and Brad had to do the persona thing back to back. If I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the RIP of my career right there. Got named the P-boy so I could go a mustache.
I'm a college standout. I haven't been in college in 20 years.
I know. Did you even pass?
Did I? What?
Do you even go to college?
Yeah.
Bro, how funny was that?
My favorite. Which? Oh my gosh! I saw it today. I'm like,
smile in that was hilarious.
That was my first all tournament team.
I was thinking, was that my freshman year? But that had to be my sophomore year or something.
That was my first all tournament team. I got pulled game 6 after 3 frames because we had a loft, and I couldn't keep it on the right side of the head pin. My coach got mad. He's like, "I'll take your ass out. I don't care about this all tournament team." So then Perry was actually my replacement because Perry was sitting. And he shot 220 for me.
Did you
get the all tournament team?
Win that tournament?
No, I got 4th.
So he kept you in it.
Yeah,
so I got 5th because we probably went in order.
Yeah.
Beat that ass again. Weird.
You have to have people bowl for you to beat me. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's done.
Unreal.
When I get in college, guys shot 120 for me. That happened twice.
At least you guys bowled in college. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah, but you have national title according to the graphic.
That's because I have a national title because I was on the team. I just didn't bowl. Please.
You were in. Every time I see it, I'm just like, this guy was in the crowd because I was bowling against them.
Listen, my team won and your team lost, and that's that. Anyways, let's change the subject to strategy change from a multiple game match to a single game match. Anybody for me, it definitely changes.
I would like to say, but I don't know. I just try to strike. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay, since Kyle doesn't know how to answer this question, I got it. For me, it definitely changes from multiple game to single game because for a multiple game match, if a game starts going poorly, you can start to try some different things. Yeah, you can if I'm shooting 120 the first game, I'm willing to try 2 or 3 different balls or move 5 right or 5 left to try and see what might be out there. Whereas a single game, I'm willing to take a riskier strategy, knowing I'm going to need either a great score or maybe lose. Yeah, there's no real time to figure it out.
I guess when you're bowling, the difference between, or at least for me, the difference between bowling a single game and multi-game match. If you take a format like the Masters, when you start getting into a groove, you win your first match and you have a good idea how the lanes break down. So you have a idea of how you can start the match and then your ball progression as the games go. So you start building this game plan through a for multiple games. So, whatever that is, as soon as you start picking up some things that you're seeing, you can go to this ball, you can make this move, and you kind of that progression over multiple games. It's a larger transition, larger progression. For a single game, a lot of times you just got to go with something and then kind of hope it works if you haven't been bowling that pattern much or whatever it is. So it's definitely. I don't want to. It's definitely probably a little more strategic for a multiple games. It's normally you probably have to bring a couple different bowling balls into play and make more moves. And in a single game match, it's really just dialing it in for those 10 shots and hopefully you made the right choice.
Yeah, that's how it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Ryan, if you would just keep up with our YouTube channel, you would know exactly what I think about this ball. So yeah, if you just go back, watch the video. Kyle hasn't watched my video or made a single ball review video for us. So we're just gonna keep ripping on him. The Hero Solid, I put one out on my Instagram, but I shot the video. We'll be posting it probably in a couple days, probably later this week.
Figure out that ball. I've thrown it a couple times and it's looked really good, and I've thrown it a couple times and it hasn't looked very good for me. But so I'm trying to figure out if it was just like fluke instances. That's why I wanted to go bowl this weekend is try out some of these new balls and see how they run. Because determinant is way better than practice.
For me, the Hero Solid was I think the new batch of Brunswick balls was pretty different for me. Like in terms of from the previous releases, a lot of times, some of them hook decently early or they kind of square off of it. So like the Hero Solid was like in between the closer, which kind of went too far down lane sometimes, and the Squatch Solid, which was too early sometimes.
Yeah, dude, I could see that for sure.
So it was that in between where it would still hook down lane, but it also started up probably 2 or 3 feet sooner than the closer.
Yeah, I could see that.
And it made a similar motion to the Squatch, but it kept hooking.
Yeah.
So I mean that's how it was for me. You don't use a spare ball, right?
I just use urethane, so kind of. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about going back to a spare ball.
Yeah. So for me, Kyle can one-handers. This isn't like a rip on one-handers, but one-handers can cut their rev rate down pretty easy. I mean, it's not easy, but they can cut their rev rate down way easier than a two-hander can. So I don't know if there's any two-handers that don't use a spare ball. And even me, who uses a pretty flat release on my spare shot, if I miss it at all with a urethane ball or with a reactive ball, you'll see it hook a lot, even if I miss it just a little bit, just because of the rev rate. Whereas a one-hander can kind of take his hand out of it even more and almost throw like a puck down the lane. Yeah,
and we can generate more speed and all that stuff.
Yeah, you can throw it. You see guys like, Osku who was switching to one-handed to throw it 30 miles an hour with no rev rate, basically.
Yeah. It's like the only advantage that one-handers really have, and it never helps really. Besides picking
it only helps when the scores are super, super low.
The U.S. Open, that one block on the U.S. Open was like the only time it really helped if you could do it.
Yeah, I finished like third on that block.
Really? The hard one?
I went plus like 20.
No,
I went plus like 100, and then I went minus a little bit. Or no, I went like even plus 20 to get myself into the cut.
Dude, imagine
I had nothing on every pattern, and then I like fade the head pin with a urethane ball, go plus 20 for the 6 or 8 games or whatever it was. And I was like, well, this was pretty surprising.
Yeah, that pattern was gnarly. That
pattern was a spare shooting clinic. That's what that was.
It was a spare shooting clinic and a way to not split on your first shot. If you could do those two things, you did all right that day.
Mm-hmm. I think this is a pretty good one. Pretty decent.
Yeah. What's the biggest curveball?
I personally haven't hit any crazy curveballs in my career. I'm only in year 2, so there hasn't been much yet. But the biggest learning curve for me was the laying out of certain balls to match up to the PBA patterns, because the oil that they put out on tour is so much different than when I play a random weekend tournament, like this guy would say, or an amateur tournament. You know, they always hook more. Where on tour, I go out there and there's so much oil down lane that the layouts on the bowling balls and the angles that I have to play are just, it took me, you know, it takes people a while to get used to. You know, that's why you see guys, even a guy like Chris Prather, who everybody thinks is, you know, super, super good, which he's not. But everybody, yeah, I mean, please, everybody who thinks he's, he is an awesome bowler, but it even took him 4 or 5 years to really start having success and start seeing what he should be seeing.
Yeah.
You hitting any curveballs?
I think the one that I guess what comes to mind when that question comes up is that not as like probably the angle through the front part of the lane. You know, when the lanes are kind of seeing the lane a certain way, and growing up, house shots and other sport patterns, I compare it to like a triangle shape, to where you know, on our pattern, especially as a righty, you got to get the ball to the right super quick and get it away from you, and then create this angle. And that has a lot to do with the lanes hooking in the front part of the lane and the really tight down lane. And they seem like they're really tight, and you would think you need to keep your angles in front of you. And in reality, you got to rip on it up the back and get it away from you. And that idea of creating like this triangle shape, which it makes sense in my mind. I don't know if it makes sense for anyone else, but instead of being like more up the lane, I had to get it right quick and then get it to shape back in. So understanding that, and I got lucky because I had a couple guys on tour that told me that that's what you needed to do a lot of times. So I worked on it a lot growing up. But as far as like a curveball, seeing the lane that way, that was the biggest difference, because most patterns required us to, like, if it was a long pattern, you know, you just had to keep your angles in front of you and fade the pocket most of the time, some variation of that. And on the tour, they never, hardly ever play like that.
Nobody fades the pocket. They always hook it. Always hook it.
So, and because the lanes just don't break down that way. So that was the biggest thing, is seeing the lane and angles through the front part of the lane and getting my body adjusted to be comfortable giving the ball away a lot and then seeing it come back. And it's something I still work on to today, because it's a drastic thing. I mean, and it's something that really only gets recreated on the tour.
Yeah. I mean, like me, it was just seeing the lane the right way. And yeah, I mean, it's even similar on the left side. It's not quite as bad. I think the transition from going and bowling amateur tournaments to going to the PBA is easier on the left side of the lane, just because some weeks they just give it to you, and you know, it builds up some confidence. And on top of that, yes, the patterns are different, but once you figure it out, you don't also have to figure out the transition. It's not like you have to figure out the shape and then figure out, oh wow, I should be making 6 board moves instead of 2 board moves. For that, on that part, it's different. Yes, you still have to move pair to pair who you're following. If I'm following Jacob or Jesper, or if I'm following Sanders or someone like that, yes, there's still moves, but it only happens one game every couple blocks. It's not like, oh, I follow Simonelli, then Jacob, then Rhino. Like it's not like that. But yeah, I'd say it's just like you said, it's the shape, just seeing the shape. Have you figured this out yet? I'm a lost puppy on this one.
Yeah, I'm starting to understand it more. And
if Billy could comment down below in the chat, please, do you mean a house shot or when the pattern gets to become wet dry? Because if it's wet dry, I'm lost.
For me, the biggest thing, and I've been, bowling on more house shot stuff lately, and I just can't really figure it out. But what I've been having more success with, and I've been able to have success getting to like average 235, but averaging like 240 or 2 above, I've been struggling with. I can do it for a few games, but for like an entire 8-game block when I'm going to see wet dry, it's been difficult for me. But keeping my ball more in front of me and not getting, and basically just playing the oil, not playing the dry at all, and I'm getting my angles down. Now I just have to I have to figure out the right release and balls that I need to throw in that particular position to like score better. And like I said, I've been working on that, and just playing the oil has been better for me. And actually, I think lefties struggle a lot with the wet dry when they can't use the friction because they're so dependent on friction all the time that when they have to get soft and use the oil, it's a forbidden thing. And they just don't. That's like if there's a list of moves, that move is like 8th on the list, and by the time you get to thinking about that, your day's over. I think that happens a lot with lefties.
I would agree. So he clarified and said a house shot. So for me, the house shot, like you said, for me, it's straighter is greater. I've been caught up where I go a couple months or a couple weeks where I'm always throwing it to the friction. And sometimes there's just houses where the friction is so dominant that you can't avoid it. But for me, it's always, how can I get from this angle where I'm throwing it at it to like more on top of it, straighter up it. And for me, it's not really release. It's, do I use a smooth ball or do I use a ball that's going to go sideways down lane, which is going to carry the best? And that's where I go from 230 to 250. Yeah. Where if I can hit the pocket all day, I'm going to shoot 230 no matter what. Yeah. But if I can carry the 7 on the bad shot, that's when it becomes 250. So I would say the wet dry, how straight can you get? How close can you get to that border of this is the wet, this is the dry? How close can you get to that and just use speed or bowling balls? Yeah, a lot of it. I mean, I think a lot of it's speed, but when they get wet dry, you'll notice that like straighter is greater how you're doing it. The guys that are almost every time, the guys that are scoring real well, they're not sending it away from them very well. So a lot. So you got to figure out a way to keep your angles. And for me, it's getting left, staying in the oil, but getting my eyes more left than I'm probably used to doing. Staying up the back, trying to stay slow. And now I've gotten that part together. I just got to figure out the right balls now. Yeah, for sure. And I 100% agree with that. Straighter is greater when the scores are high. For sure. Also helps with moves. When you're playing so straight, you don't have to move as much. Yeah, man. I can make like 1-and-1s, 2-and-2s. Like just keep. It's like you're a lefty. I know. It's like you're a lefty. Woo! I have a 170 average, but I want to have a higher average and am consistently hitting my mark, but my ball is not carrying. This is a little about what we just talked about, just finding the right ball, I think. If you have a guy that's in a pro shop that drills for you, I would have him come take a look at your game. And honestly, for me, one of the things when I coach somebody, if they're like, hey, I want to get my average a little higher, and they're in that 160, 170, 180 range, I think literally a new bowling ball almost always jumps you up 10 pins. New ball carry. New ball carry is real. If you get a new ball, and especially if you get the right ball and you're hitting your mark consistently, if you get the right bowling ball in your hands, it can make a world of change. Yeah. It's also, if you're averaging 170, you probably want to work with a coach too, because there's probably stuff in your physical game that you can improve on. So don't always. Even if you're hitting your mark. Yeah, like even if you're hitting your mark, you can learn how to, get a better roll on the bowling ball, like change your speeds, work on some stuff in your game to where you can adapt to the lanes. But so don't always think it's just I'm averaging 170s, balls are crap, I can't find that ball. Like take some initiative into your own game and kind of work on it. So, but yeah, it's a combination of those two. Let's see what we got. This is the second time we've gotten this. First off, I'd love for you to change your picture to a Brunswick logo. That'd be awesome. Second off, no, I have not thrown it. I've drilled it, but I haven't thrown it yet. Have you? No, you said you threw the hero. I haven't got it yet. Yeah, so I have mine sitting in my car. I shot 3 or 4 ball videos. That's just the one that I haven't quite gotten to yet. I'll probably get to it tomorrow. So be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. All right. Daddy's back. I know what all your answers should be to this one. Just saying. If you could pick one trade from another bowler in the house, what would it be? It would definitely be to learn how to throw it two-handed with a purple hammer. On the left side of the lane.
On the left
No.
side. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Is there any other way to do it?
No. That would literally be it. Then I would be a complete bowler.
You'd be a cheating bowler, but I mean,
Imagine if you could throw it as good as you do righty on the left side of the lane. I always think about that, but the opposite. I'm like, man, if I could throw it righty, I'd be even worse.
Yeah, you would. Maybe not. Probably, not, actually. Probably have a title.
We got 2 questions from different people. I'm just going to put them together. Why do you think Brad is bowling so good lately? And is it because he's throwing 12 pounds? Those were back to back.
Yeah.
I think he's bowling so good because of the weight change where he switched to 12 pounds. Now he can really throw it hard and get all over it at the bottom.
Yeah, that Kansas City windmill is a little easier with 12 pounds.
The KC windmill. Back in the days.
True story, though. I did watch Bill O'Neill drill a 14-pound ball at the U.S. Open because he wanted to
Unreal.
get under it. So that has
that was
happened.
the players. It was the players. I remember it because they had a different diff. He was throwing like a 14. It was like a the pink ball, the pink widow or something. He wanted.
I thought it was
some
a
other.
chaos.
Yes, that's right.
I thought it was
wanted,
a chaos. Green chaos.
He wanted a higher diff, and it's higher than like 14. So he just drilled that.
Yeah. And
Crazy.
I think like he felt like he could just hit it more, and he needed to like hit it. And I was like, wow, I've never thought about doing that. And he makes the show.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, insane. But if you click the link in most of our videos, if you click the link, there is a 50% off discount code that you can get, which would make a $50 lesson go to $25. And you can even request a specific person. Probably not going to want Kyle to review it, but Nick's a pretty good coach. Chris, Tim does some, Darren does some of them. So yeah, you can even send in a little request of who you want to do it. Not saying it's going to get done by that person, but you can send in a request. And now back to the good stuff. Yes, I have.
Haven't got it.
Kyle still hasn't got it yet. Favorite lefty on tour not named Packy? There are none. We're just going to skip that. Just going to skip that question. You guys got any good action? Oh, where'd it go? I lost it. He asked if we've ever bowled action.
Oh, yeah. I bowled action. I like to bowl more, but not. I don't know.
I think a lot of people are scared. For me, something that I hate. A lot of people are scared of bowling lefties when they bowl an action match. Which I mean, it stinks. I've bowled. It doesn't bother me because I have the advantage. But I think a lot of people are scared or don't want to bowl some PBA guys. But what they don't realize is a lot of those PBA guys aren't going to be as good if they go bowl on a house shot where you bowl. Like if you average 240 at your house, I'm not going to be as good as you.
Dude, what makes no sense to me is when the pattern's fresh and there's only one lefty versus one righty, and
don't even start with me.
They don't want to bowl. I like don't understand. Like I will bowl any lefty. Like
we could set this up.
We're both on fresh. I'll bowl you. If we're both on fresh, I am cool with that.
Yeah, I don't get it either because people are like, oh man, I'm in the transition. And I'm like, you're following your own transition. I'm following mine.
Yeah,
one versus one. It's not like you.
It makes
we're not bowling on the leftovers.
Sense, I see all these matches and it's like house shot, best of 3 games, no lefties. And I'm like, if it's fresh, it shouldn't matter.
This is
yeah, I guess my pride is a little more than my brain. I'll bowl anyone and I'll lose.
I bowled one action match in my life. Nah,
you've only bowled one?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Were you were there.
I was there. It was for a lot. We were in on it together.
Exactly.
Yeah, somebody asked Nick if he wanted to bowl for like it was like one game, $200, one game, $200, one game, $200. And then he was like, last game, 800, win or go home. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, let's do it. Worst case scenario, we're even. Whatever it came out to. I was like, that was insane. I'm not going to answer this.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into it. I'm tired of the righty lefty.
You done with these righty lefties?
Physically and emotionally.
Yeah, me too.
You guys have emotional attachment.
It's just exhausting. Dude, when we're in the house and everyone gets going, I just sit there and I'm like, no, not again.
I sit there and I'm like, yes, give it to me.
Yeah, because
Well, that's because Packy's over here in the corner doing this. Packy's just stirring it all. He's like, yeah, us
it
lefties
starts
were
out
really
as
good,
like
aren't
this little lighter, and by the end of the night, we got fucking California wildfires just blowing up into the freaking house. Annoying. And Packy's eyes go from like, oh, I'm ready to go to bed to like, lefties, let's go.
Why can't there be another?
So great.
Is it a good idea to throw urethane? If you specifically average higher with a ball, I would always suggest throwing it.
I've probably made the most money at individual times throwing urethane and like having.
Not me either. I only make money on house shots. Next question.
Any
Nick.
pattern in Shawnee, Oklahoma?
Nick, I knew it was coming. I knew it.
Any
I'm
pattern
not-
in Shawnee?
Yeah, I don't think Shawnee's the easiest house in the nation. But when the PBA Tour oils the lanes, it might be.
There should be a bet. Will Nick shoot a 300? Minus 300. Yes.
It's never a guarantee, but it is in Shawnee.
Yeah. Just put out Mark Roth, he'll be fine.
Oh, please. Please. When they put out the dual pattern, I'm like, well, guess I have to hit my mark.
It's going to be a little harder this year.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right, a couple more questions. I gotta go.
All right, we got 3 more questions. Let's see. Oh, I also have been wondering this for a long time. Like Frankie does it too. Frankie, Chris, you. Who else?
I think it's just the way you hit it at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know. I never woke up one day and was like, I need to scratch my left ear when I follow through. Never really thought that.
You just do it.
That's how I used to bowl.
Yeah, if I try to go this way,
you have a question? What is it? You got any good ones? We got Nick and Kyle.
I think it's a little bit of a more modern style, like you're trying to hit it, and we're kind of swiping across the ball too.
I have a question. Can I have this beer?
Yeah, of course. Always.
Aaron McFadden.
Good to see you, Packy.
Good to see you too, Matt. Have you ever
Matt McFadden? I said
Matt
Darren
McFadden.
That's a running
All right.
back.
We'll end it on there's some funny ones. You guys got any good ones? You see any in here?
I'm not even in the chat.
You're not even in the chat. That's perfect. We could give them the what's your all-time favorite ball, but I feel like I've answered that a million times.
Here we go. Here's a chat. Oh, I got one.
All right. Shoot.
I don't know how to bring it up.
I can bring it up.
John Marley.
That's what
There's another one. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
All right.
The culprit is to my right.
Here.
Yeah, I'm getting my directions messed up here. It's not me.
I can't deny that. I've tried everything.
But his feet smell so freaking bad, and his asshole smells worse.
But he knows. He knows.
Yeah,
listen,
I'm
he
trying.
knows, and he tries. He knows and he tries.
Doesn't work, but.
All right, we'll end it on something a little more serious.
Okay.
We'll end it on something a little more serious.
Oh, goodness. This is not serious at all. Definitely
No,
knowing
no,
you,
no, no,
Pack.
no. We'll get a real one. All right, we'll end it. We'll end on a helpful tip from John Morant. Any advice for a sophomore bowler trying to make individual
I
state?
just
Yeah,
want to make it known that Matthew Thomas says, "Why is Kyle so inconsistent?" I want to let you know
because he stinks.
I
End
might
it
have
there.
had the highest.
All right. So
Did you just kick him out?
yeah. All right, we'll bring him back in.
All right, I'm leaving. I just want to let him know that go check the PBA stats, Matthew Thomas. All right, more consistent. All these fools just might not seem
Yeah.
that way. I got the low
Yeah.
lights.
Did they let you finish your playoff match?
No, I did not.
Guys, why is
160
Kyle's
was
inconsistent?
very
Because you guys don't see the whole tournament. That's why. If you saw the whole tournament, you'd realize it's hard bowling on
Wow.
TV. Straight up.
Bro, that's like the one bad game I've had.
It is.
I mean, we could go stat searching if you want, but
You could go stats.
all right. I thought this was a real one. I thought this was a good one. Not why is Kyle inconsistent?
No, that one kind of
Get some coaching.
Pull that guy right
Buy
now.
a new ball.
What?
Kyle, don't take it too personal.
I'm out of here. Never.
Any
did.
advice for a
Never
sophomore
did.
bowler trying to make individual state?
I don't care about this question anymore. I'm just
Get
kidding.
some coaching from Kyle,
Don't
and
suck.
he'll tell you how to deal with problems online.
Don't freaking suck. Now work. Just practice. Don't be a goofball. Like
Spares.
Practice.
Spares.
I had this conversation with this kid I was coaching today. He's 11 years old. He's really good, but I think it's pretty important when you're growing up and between if you're bowling as a youth and between like 10 and 16 and 17 before you get into college is create good habits, create good practice habits, and train harder than other guys. Because I've seen a lot of guys that have pretty decent physical games and they practice, but they're not taking it seriously to where you need to take it serious, and it shows. I mean, I know guys that would practice and they no results on the lanes because their version of practice is not actually practicing. They're not being serious. So just take it serious, work hard, learn, keep trying to grow, and you will you'll improve. I don't know how high your ceiling is, but you will improve. So
your ceiling can be as high as you make it with good practice and a good coach. I am convinced, and a two-handed lefty physical game.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I never thought Brad would be as good as he is. I mean, you see him bowl now, so he's got a good coach and he's been practicing.
All right.
I'm out of here, guys.
I think that's a good note to end on. So, anything you want to say, Nick?
Nope. I love every lefty, every two-handed lefty. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Buy some merch on the house.
Yeah, buy some merch.
Kyle's
got it
grow
on.
mustache if you can.
I got something to say. Matthew Thomas, I'm coming for you, all right?
All right. And on that note, we're out. Like, comment, subscribe. And don't be Matthew Thomas, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry.